Hello people and welcome to watch yet another Carcassonne Champions League stage match. This is the week 3 and today we'll be taking a look at the match between Matthias Lehmacher of Germany with the screen name yzemaze and his opponent from Tutejšyja, Mikhail Lapushynski with the screen name Gladky Alex. uh, who, with the latter mentioned, is not doing currently so hot. Currently has uh, 2 losses under his belt out of 2 matches and 0 game wins even. So Gladkit's situation certainly looks quite dire. Has to Yeah, I would say that he has to win his remaining matches all with 2-0 records, which is quite a lot to be asked, to be honest. But I believe actually Clarky has reached the master rank, so I mean he does have the capability to do so, but it's going to require maybe not only just this skill, but also I guess somewhat of a decent tile runouts as well. Maybe not only just decent, but maybe even just good. Considering that his future opponents on top of Matthias are also Dr. Kai Khan and Goran Hlarek, who will certainly put up resistance. And for Utses, the situation is 2-1 currently. Sorry, 1-1 currently. So 1 win, 1 loss, and his future opponents are gonna be pretty difficult. With the Chinese Aki Stack and, well, of course, now Mikhail, and then on his final round, the 2017, no, 2017, 2018? Well, anyway, a former world champion, Thomas Proust. But let's take that one match at a time, and let's see how it is gonna do today. Certainly a well-rounded player on its own. Currently rated at 656. I'm not sure about his peak rating, but I mean it's gotta be about 700 like easily. Let's do a very quick background check. um, yep, we can see over here. So has peaked well above 700, about at like 740, 750 even or so, and quite a steady approach where with kind of rarely dropping under 600. And so far we have seemingly quite self-playing moves, let's say, with uh, normal time mode with slow time format, custom table, so alternating a starting player, that is, of course, 5 points for a Klatky. Being a starting player has been able to take advantage of, I guess, the first city over here, and has been able to also score a 5-point road. Successfully, he's going to be able to save his 2-point road here, also setting up the starting tile. And the situation actually looks somewhat odd to me. Yeah, who's having used a starting tile here to restrict the road of Kladki and to... I mean, I guess this monastery has to have come before the road, which we can actually figure out from here. And it absolutely has, so the monastery has been there ever since the, well, since the dawn of time, basically. Dashko time. And starting only afterwards. And this will certainly do well for Utsi. And I'm actually surprised, very surprised, that Kladke didn't, like at any point, he didn't even go for a meeple, knowing that there were two dividers still out there. And even if there weren't, like, what's the issue of not going, or like what's the issue of going over here with a meeple when you have 4 in hand and when you are attacking a feature worth at least 6 points? Does not quite seem correct to me. And like, kind of, I mean, it just has to be just not correct. Like you see, Gladkey used a tile over here, a tile over here, without meeples, and now he's down actually on the scoreboard 7 to 16, while Utse keeps now building even the second city, requiring still 2 city caps to build it up. And he takes his chances with the starting tile, adds 1 point to the monastery of also of Gladkey. Does get restricted, or let's say expanded first, with the final remaining cow. Actually, there are no such tiles remaining in the deck, and afterwards does get restricted to a dagger, as he was trying to like kind of run away with the city with the help of the extender. Now still 2 daggers remaining into that square, so nothing to be really worried about for each of them. Yeah, for Gladkey though, there is very much to be worried about, with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22 point city potentially for Utse, and also a 4-point road, which Gladkey has now provided a road end to. And were Utse to finalize the block of the to finalize the city, then he would be in a very commanding lead, with Gladkey not having all that many threats. As well, I mean, he would have a 5-point monastery to try and compensate it, I guess, and potentially, I guess here then a 12-point city goes for the block, which Uchi doesn't get a salvation tile, but he gets a semi-save tile, and I do believe that he will also use it. Could you even go over here, maybe onto the field? Doesn't go for the field, but goes for the city instead. Going for the field would make sense in a so that, like, when you go to the field, you just like leaving an empty city cap really only benefits red here. Only benefits yellow here, because when it gets taken, then Utsi can restrict this square into like into, well, preferably into a straight road, or into a road monastery, whereas the field just keeps growing into 6 points. But fortunately for Mikhail, he gets a salvation tile before Ute is gonna be able to really do anything meaningful over here, or anything at all, rather, and is saved by the disaster scenario of Ute finishing even the second one. The second city, I mean. Drops the city cap onto his field, starts a 6-point loop road, and it's just kind of trying to eye around whether it is worth it to maybe go over here, which I don't think it will be because there are still 2 daggers remaining, and I mean it's just like a value tile, a city cap that is. But what's the alternative? Finishing this? Maybe. Or starting another city? Sure. Unfortunately for Utse, the pretty much the best tile ever hits Gladki's hand, gets 4 points for the city, 3 points to the field, and an additional city cap to the field as well. Straight for Utse. Not all that much that he can do. Guess he could go maybe over here, start doing stuff to this monastery. Maybe you go over here and yep, you make things a little harder for Gladki to continue the road. Does leave the road monasteries, but actually it does not because there are no road monasteries remaining anymore, which of course then would have been the case over here as well. So if you get like any road tile going over here, would have been a full save of the city as well. But unfortunately for it, it didn't happen. Gladki continues the monastery and also leaves now 2 cities available. Do you even go for a third meeple here to the stack? And yes, you do, says Gladki. How many tiles are there collectively? I mean, there are no cows. There is 1 extender. There is actually there are no field Doritos. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 4 city caps, so there's like 5 tiles to go here out of 17. Well, if Gladki is a bit unlucky, he could actually get stuck here for the entirety of the game. Luckily for him, Uche doesn't have a tile that with what he could do even a blocking platform over here, so at least there is 1 extra chance for Gladki to get a tile to get himself out of this mess. Also, by the way, the starting tiles that Uche has drawn have now guaranteed that Gladki now is going to be stuck with this road for 2 points for the entirety of the game, and also gets away from the situation very, very quickly with the vanilla. Gets 3 further points onto the scoreboard, gets 2 meeples back to his hand, which is the most important thing for him, and forces now Uche to attack, or rather Uche gets maybe the first chance to attack with a regular curve. Field now with 12 points and still room to grow. There are still, at least 1 tile, at least 1 city crossroad to fit into this square, and maybe daggers. Still 2 daggers, which will fit both here and here. And let's see actually the point situation. I mean, I imagine Gladki is kind of way ahead, but let's check. So plus 18 for Gladki. There's plus 16 for Gladky. There's 6 and 7 plus 17 plus 19 plus 18 plus 17 plus 22 and the field. Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. Which is why Uche is setting up some field attacking options. So potentially being able to go over here with the second meeple and not only equalize the field but also take it over. Then relying on to this meeple coming back from the city. And well, he doesn't care about getting a meeple back right now, it seems, which I am not maybe fully on the side of taking these points. I mean, they are only like it's only one more point compared to taking a meeple back and using that to attack the field, which Utsek like kind of has to do. Gladky adds a point to the monastery and leaves a 4-point road back for Utse, which I imagine he will take, or when is it actually a point to go over here and to attack the field? Because Utse also needs to connect over here at the top, but likely won't be doing it with this tile. That has to see how many tiles there are actually to go here in the first place. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the final curve, and Gladky does connect his meeple, likely. If there's anything to go into this square, then he will connect, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there is at least a straight road, so we should be going over here. Just to deny the disaster scenario of Utse overrunning the field, which is now 15 points. And Gladky can overcome Utse equalizing the field, but he cannot overcome Utse winning the field outright. Or maybe he can even. He's plus 17, plus 15, 17 again, plus 11, plus 8, plus 16, plus 21, plus 20. Yeah, plus 20 and the field. And actually, so even the overcome of the field, or yeah, even the overrun of the field for Utse isn't really enough. And also the fact that he has now 2 tiles remaining in the deck for him and still needs to connect over here doesn't really support his chances of overrunning the field in the first place. The city he took is worth 7 if he plans to win the field. That is true. So this one right here. So Utse was well, I guess Utse's plan was then just to like go fully deep on the field fight and increase the size of the field, which I'm still not sure if it was like more worth than just taking a meeple back, because like given that there were still tiles like this remaining and Utse had an open city, then with an extra meeple he could just score those same points elsewhere, but like kind of without risk of having to rely on these points being on the field just for him. Hello Helge, and welcome, and Nicola. Gladkey with a vanilla makes a full block, I presume. And what's the remaining tile though? Maybe like a monastery? not even a monastery. It was just a straight up missed shot for Klatky to take 4 points and make another 6-point field, which he now suffers the consequences, which are, well, really all not too bad. Still gets to take a 4-point road, or 4-point road here, or 4 points here. Doesn't really matter. But has missed out on 6 points there in the end for a finer win, let's say. And that's 1 out of the 6 games for Gladky that he's still holding out hope for to win in order to have his chances to qualify still to the playoffs. £14, the final outcome, and that's pretty much the field. Yeah, unfortunately for Utse, even the tiles like in a different order, or like reversed, let's say, for uh, for Gladky and him, like with Utse getting this vanilla and connecting for 16 points instead of 10 would not have been enough. He really needed to overrun the field. That's wrong. Actually, let's maybe not give points to the player who lost. Also, that was actually first win for Mikhail in his CCL season. Hello, Temrak. Morning indeed. Gladky starts an early field and also places a new city cap onto it and restricts the city of Utse. And the city does get continued. Also, Utse claiming a road. Did he have an alternative? Not really, no. Given that there was only 1 dagger remaining, and now 0 daggers actually remaining to the left. And that's going to make the life of Gladky really difficult here, because he can now get restricted into nothing, both from the left, and if he continues his city over here, he can still get blocked fully over on this square. So the chances of this city to complete are not really all that great. Also, Gladky does not get a city tile to go here, but neither does Ute get a full salvation tile, which fortunately for him does not backfire, but Gladky doesn't even care. He just goes for goes and gives a 75% chance for Ute to finish the city. Doesn't like to wait around for a cow, I presume. Well, at least there is a small silver lining there for Gladky. Like, if Utse manages to get himself a horse here, then it is gonna be a quick point tile, which is gonna, I guess, take some minor value out of the efficiency of yellow. Gladky still building up this road. Do note that the city itself has been blocked fully. I don't really actually like this move all that much, because if Gladky is wanting to go, is wanting to grab the horses from Utse, then it would be a really nice opportunity for Gladkey to use them over here and to take the 5-point road as well, and to increase the size of the ruin. And whoa, 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 whoa. Gladkey ignores the 6 points over here. Straight up ignores 6 points. Nah, this cannot possibly be right. Why would you ever do this? Ignores the 6 points, ignores the 5-point road, even though the city is already fully blocked, and instead finishes the city on the right, which was fully safe, which was fully safe, and drops a farmer immediately, allowing the block even of his monastery. And now, in order to get to the field, Gladkey helps the road of Utse. That and this field is only worth 9 points. Like, it's not really even worth a second meeple. Like, in this situation where this monastery is already blocked, this city is already blocked. Oh, good lord. Good lord, this ain't good for Gladkey. Was wondering if there was wondering is there actually something competitive while spectating Gladkey, and it actually is. I'm not sure what like what you're saying, but welcome to the stream, George. Also, I am like at this point, I am like 99% sure that Gladkey, like, he has just miscounted the daggers. I think he still reckons that there's one remaining. I fully believe that Gladkey thinks that there's one dagger remaining still. Oh my god, he does. Oh no. He has miscounted the daggers! And that's why he didn't take the 3 points over here with the horse. That's why he goes here with the 2 points and doesn't take the 3 points over here. He still thinks there are daggers, or a dagger. And that's also why he didn't go over here with the city crossroad and take 6 points, which now went to Utse instead. Oh boy. Oh boy. Has Gladkey really done himself here? Not really looking good for a 2-0, if that is his aim. Also, Itse has successfully been able to defend his city to a vanilla, which there are still 3 remaining. Also has still 1 horse remaining onto this square. And yeah, really doesn't need to even invest this meeple to anything. Gets the save also to the city, which, I mean, there's still 1 divider, but are there filled Doritos? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Yes, there are. There are still 2 filled Doritos. But again, like, Utse doesn't really need the meeple for anything. Doesn't need to invest the meeple, so he can just basically chill. And yeah, like I said, like, not even meeple monasteries like this, even though he still has like 5. Well, let's say 2 here, 3 here, 1 here, 6 tiles to basically give a meeple back, and then, well, I guess he would be losing value out of like crossroads, but that's about it. They don't think there are league games that early. Ah, well, I mean, it is the league. I mean, we have been doing it for like 3 weeks now, so yeah, it's been very much going on. Well, the horse hits Utsa's hand, and he will definitely be sealing off the game with that, with plus 23 on the scoreboard. 2 blocked meeples for Gladki for 13 points, so plus 10, and then a 12-point field, so minus 2 for Utse, plus 2, plus 4, plus 8. The monastery for 8, so plus 16. The field plus 22, plus 14, plus 16 for, well, yeah, plus 16 for Utse, and has 3 tiles to go here. The 2 field Doritos, and then the divider, which would all be like just absolute killer tiles for Utse, and also gets the 8 extra points, basically donated by Gladki in his attempt to attack the field, which certainly is worth attacking. It's certainly worth attacking for, or attacking to, because it was basically guaranteed to be at least at 9 points. And in the meanwhile, Utse has been able to even take another 6-point field over here with a curve, finishing up the road, and also grabbing this another city onto the field. Utse even goes for a second farmer, which I'm not sure if he has connection tiles, but he might have. And there was actually the final curve remaining in the deck, which Utse was trying to get for these extra 12 points. Didn't get, but doesn't really matter. Instead gets the 3 points over here for the ruin and wins with a comfortable 33-point margin. Ah, okay. Well, that's what you meant. So just like an early morning CCL match. Okay, gotcha. Everything before 1 p.m. is early. I see. Okay, well, with that said, let's head on to the final one. And let's also mark up the scores on the scoreboard. Unfortunately for Gladki, that one loss could very well actually mean that his playoff chances are off the books, because the best that he could do with the tiebreakers now is at +1. Even if he were to now, first of all, win this decider and then win both of his remaining matches to 0. So not looking really great, but like I have said before, even though you wouldn't be necessarily able to make it to the playoffs, you can also you can still create chaos for others, and you can still make them sweat real hard and even deny and even deny other players the play of chances. So maybe you can still be a valuable asset, I guess, to some other players who want to who want to qualify for the playoffs. 8-4 for Gladky, and he gets, of course, to be the starting player for this decider. It's with a double stacked monasteries here, and I wonder if is he gonna go over here, or is it just gonna be waiting for a crossroad? And he just decides to go kind of do a halfway trick to not limit himself to a crossroad just yet, but he should be kind of worried about getting restricted into a dagger. And I believe that, I mean, does Uchi go here? He does. Doesn't matter. Does not prevent him getting restricted though. Ooh, would have been actually a neat trick to go over here, and yeah, would have been quite kind of a neat trick to go over here for Uchi, and then try and think like maybe my opponent gets the CCC and has to discard it. This one's gotta hurt for Gladky though. A third monastery in a very nice stack for Uche, and also this is of course one road monastery that is not gonna be in that's not gonna be possible for Gladky to get over on this square now, and only really has one single tile to finish this road on from the right side, and ooh, Uche could actually go here. He could go here because it's going to, well, yeah, it was gonna rather nicely cover up this square for him, but he was too well, he was kind of afraid of his two monasteries getting restricted into a dagger, and he successfully defends from that possibility. Also sets up the 8-point city to release two of his monasteries, which for Gladky he quite certainly should take that. Also, I think Gladky had something better. I think Gladky should have gone over here and sets up the same dagger actually. And set up a 10 pointer for the same daggers, and also attack the field and easily connect. But decides to do that via another route. So sets up now a field of his own at the bottom, which is now already worth 6 points. Could be easily 9, 12. And so Gladky's idea here really is to go for the a field of his own and try to play a field versus monasteries setup, which is quite common. Now, only having plus 10 though doesn't necessarily isn't necessarily enough. But if he managed to get actually like all the daggers, that's gonna help Gladky a long way. And the monastery, actually, you know what? he could go over here and place a farm and like a farmer, no, maybe not, but like a monastery meeple, and he does so. So now restricts this square into a coin flip of a of the last remaining road monastery, and is now leading in meeples 4-1 momentarily, whilst Utse is waiting for a dagger to hit. And honestly, like Clarky could still go for that. He could still go for the idea of going over here with a farmer and setting up a 10-point city. He could still go for that. Or he could just, do the normal move, go over here and attack a very nice, juicy looking city. Wait, last. Oh! Oh, God, good lord. Wow, I am so rusty today with road monasteries. Jesus. Yeah, so, of course, again, there is no road monastery remaining. The second one has already been played also. So this monastery is stuck, this road is stuck, and this monastery is stuck. Wow, I am not doing so hot today. Damn. Okay, well, there goes that out the window then. And that also kinda, I guess, explains as to why Clark doesn't go for the attack, as he doesn't really want to like fully try and complete the monastery because it's not possible. Welcome, Matt. Well, Ute manages to do a block for a block, so his city does get blocked over here on the right, but it is scoring 12 points, whereas this blocked city on the, for Gladki is only scoring 4 for now. And Gladki has also went for a second farmer, which I don't really think is such a great decision, given that Utse was unlikely to go for that field, whilst he only had one meeple in his hand. But okay, I will give him that. Utse adds a city cap to his field. Also, he has. Does he? He does have one tile still to go over here, which if Gladki manages to draw that, like this blocked road doesn't really matter all that much because it's going to like kind of take down this road with it, which is worth, of course, more, which is worth a 5.1 mini battle, but nonetheless, still blocked meeples to equality. I think Lucky was hoping to keep the fields separate. I mean, yeah, for sure he was, but he doesn't really like. Why bother with this tile over here when when there are still like multiple curves remaining in the deck, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe actually maybe not that many, maybe like 2 remaining or so. But still, like we could just wait for us to get a city plus road tile, then go over here and ensure that the fields never get merged, which would be so much more efficient. And then, or if Utse manages to get a road tile over here and decides to even go for the road, for the field, sorry, then we can go over here. We can maybe drop another farmer, and we can then get a curve ourselves and connect everything with with basically a sucked meeple down from Utse, which I think would be much better. But Gladky so far has a decent shot still with by scoring quick points. There still are 2 daggers to go here. Only one of those has gone. And it's now with 1 meeple doesn't really have anywhere great to place this tile to. Maybe he's considering just going over here, but like he really wouldn't want to, because with the 2 daggers, he really would like to keep the meeple in his hand to score this city right here. And he's down 20 points on the scoreboard, so let's count that as well. So minus 20 for Utse, scoring 16 from these, so minus 4, plus 8, 7 and 7, plus 13, plus 19, plus 4. He's minus 2 and a meeple, but he has a 75% chance to get 2 meeples back and make a 10-point move. So still I would say Utse has a very good position and even a better chance at a win than Gladki does. Well, maybe that's not quite true. I think it's like roughly 50-50 or so. It just depends on who draws a dagger first. Because if Gladki draws a dagger, then I believe he should be going over here, taking the taking the 6 points and allowing 2 meeples back to Utse's hand, but he would then be at like plus 10, and 10 points for 1 extra meeple only isn't really something that looks viable on this board. Well, Utse would certainly need to get a city cap or city caps to his field, and by getting a dagger, he would be able to go here as well for just for 7 points. Could take 8-point road at the bottom instead if Alex gets a dagger next. Yeah, here for sure. Also works. 8 points for the road, and still denies the completion of the cities, of the monasteries. Instead, just goes for a new city and decides to go for the completion and also try and drop a farmer, to which Utse cannot do anything about right now. I guess the best that Utse can do is, I don't know, go over here. Maybe. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's still 1 vanilla, which also very much explains why Gladkid takes the city, because there were so many city caps remaining. They're like 1, the daggers, 2 and 3, this one 4, vanilla 5, like at least 5 city caps remaining in the deck still. Or maybe not still, but there were remaining 5 city caps at least. And Utse kind of has to figure out how does he win if he does not draw the daggers, or like either of the daggers, or what if he draws the dagger as his final tile and only then gets these 10 points. And he does indeed go on the left, create 2 cities, and Gladki manages to finish up the city of his own. Also, of course, drops a farmer to now a 12-point field. Tries to get some use out of road tiles that there are still very much so remaining, or should be. I think there's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6. There's like 2 straight roads at least. There are no curves, but maybe the straight roads are actually the only ones. No starting tiles. Well, there's 1 dagger. So, okay, a question for Gladki. Do you go here? Do you go here? Do you take off 8 points? Or do you go here? Take off 4? Yeah, it's a tough question for Gladki. Although, if Utse goes here on his next turn, he will only actually have time to use 1 meeple. because Yze has only two tiles left for himself. Yeah, that's quite tricky. Um, and and you know, when there's like a straight road, a dagger, and then something remaining. Honestly, I think it would be better potentially for Gladkid if he just goes here, takes 4 points, then focuses on getting like just I don't know a straight road or something, or another curvy tile, and takes a road. That sounds like a decent plan. So he's plus 24. These monasteries are 23, so plus 1, minus 11, minus 10, minus 3, minus 9, minus 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 3, and he does decide to go for the city for 8 points, minus 2, so 6 points, and 2 meeples back to Yze. But Yze has to use a meeple over here. He has to block the connection, because there are still 2 straight roads remaining, if I have counted correctly. Let's make sure of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and of course I have not counted correctly. There's only 1 straight road remaining, but will he still go here? Because it is a full block, right? It is a full block. So there is a straight road, there is a dagger, and something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No triple cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No Doritos. A city cap, I guess, then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Actually, no city caps even. There's only the dagger. So maybe an extender. There's 1. Wait, what? Why am I counting? Oh, there's 2. So an extender, a dagger, and a straight road. So what Uche needs to decide here is like, does he go over here for 3 points and make the full block, denying Gladkey from getting a meeple to the field with the straight road? Or does he do something else? Like, where does he take points from? Like, the max that he can do is 5 points here, but is it worth it? And he does decide to go for the limitation. With this field limitation, by Uche, Gladkey needs all daggers to win, I feel. Does he? Did Gladkey actually need also the second dagger? Honestly, I think I would be feeling. I'm not sure if he would be. So Uche, well, Uche doesn't get the dagger, so we'll be soon seeing whether Gladkey really needed the dagger or not. But yeah, Uche can't really do much because he can't prevent the 8-point road. So instead, Gladkey gets 1 point with the extender and the 8-point road anyways. And so let's say that the tiles are reversed, so then it's gonna be an 8-point flip, because then it's then it's a 8 for Uche instead of 4, and then 4 for Gladkey instead of 8. So 8-point flip. But honestly, I don't think it's big enough for Uche, even if the tiles were to have been reversed. because the dagger is the only high points play. I mean that is true, but uh, yeah, the dagger would not have been enough for Utse anyways, with the final point difference being at 11. So it's just like really needed the dagger to come sooner. And like no, well, first of all, he needed Gladkey to not draw all three daggers. One here, one here, one here. That I have to say was quite unfortunate, for it only happens in like one in 8 games roughly. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a fantastic setup, but the tile gods just decided that they were not gonna help Utse today. Also, somehow Utse didn't manage to get a single field crossroad, so all four of those went for Gladkey as well, which then denied this road meeple to ever come back. Yeah, I mean, I have to say it was somewhat of a rough time for Utse here for sure. And he is now gonna go down to 2 losses, 1 win, and he's gonna have some difficult time trying to get back on his feet. And let's see his records here. So currently he's gonna be at 2-1-2-0. So at so 2 and 3, and then now at 3 and 4. Sorry, 3 and 5. So a potential chance for a +2 tiebreaker. So his chances are gonna be actually pretty much the same as Gladkey's. Has to go for 2-0. Well, actually they are better than Gladkey's, because Gladkey can again still get only a +1 tiebreaker. So he has better chances than Gladkey has, but still, 3 and 2 score at max with +2 tiebreaker. That's gonna be a yikesy. With again with Akistak and Thomas Bros to go, 2-0s are they are a lot to be asked. Certainly not the position here which the German master was maybe even expecting, or at least like kind of demanding from himself for a nice smooth league stage run. But now he has the freedom of chaos. Congrats to Mikhail Lapushynski on your opening win. For the future matches of today, we still have more to come. So at 1400 UTC, we have Larpatori versus Hotli, and that's gonna be very interesting. So Larpatori at 2-0 at the moment, so 2 wins, 0 losses, and Hotli actually the same, 2-0s, 2 wins, no losses. So both players having a fine chance there for a nice 3-0 record, and a very good chance at a playoff spot afterwards. And then a third match that we're going to have today is between Maxim Basiluk and Zoromir Vlaic at 1600 UTC. So tune in for that. And even more so afterwards. But we will not be streaming the evening matches with between Elias Mochan and Matej Tabak, or between Sergio Antolines and Pavel Hudek, the latter being streamed by Alexei, and Elias versus Matej, maybe even so by Yze, but given that there is no stream announcement, it is not guaranteed. But that is where we will be ending up the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in all the way until the end. And if you did enjoy this type of Carcassonne content and would like to see more of it, then there is an easy way to support the channel by subscribing, by liking the stream, or if you're watching this afterwards, then leaving a comment down in the comment section and letting me know what you think of this. I'll be seeing you more today still with additional Carcassonne Champions League stage matches. Bye for now.